Hello everybody! Happy day 4 of Meal Prep Like a Badass. So if you missed yesterday's video or you're behind in the group, I highly recommend starting at day 1 and going through and playing a little bit of catch up. You may have to do that this weekend and that's totally fine. These videos will not live here forever, so you definitely want to check those out, catch up. Definitely watch yesterday's because yesterday's is when I really dove into exactly how I meal plan each week. And today I'm going to share some tips and some tricks around both planning, a few tips around planning, and then mostly talk about my prep. What simple things I do to make it go faster, easier, whatever. But I did real quick want to mention again the Meal Prep Kickstart Kit, which is $39.90. If you order by Sunday, you will get the portion containers, the same exact ones that I use, so that you know exactly how much of each food group to eat. You will also get the food list that'll tell you exactly what foods you should be eating, and there'll be also a calculation of how you figure out how many calories you should be consuming based on the containers. You will get a tumbler that you can drink water out of, or a shake, or whatever it is you want to drink out of there. You're also going to get access to my meal planning template. You can do it online or you can print that out. That also comes with a grocery list area so that you can do both of those things at the same time. You're going to get access to my April Badass Bootcamp, which means you get access to me as your coach. You can post, questions, ask things in there, use that group for accountability to show up, to stick to your meal plan. If you're doing a workout or whatever, you can use that group for that as well. I will be showing up in that group daily to support you and answer those questions, help you through this potentially new meal planning, meal prepping journey that you want to start, right? I also share a lot of recipes in there and different tips and tricks. I'm still learning as I go too. So, I may do something and think, wow, this was really great. And that's where I would go to share something like that because I give more to my clients than anybody else, right? You would also, if you order by Sunday, you're gonna get a one-on-one check-in with me once a week. So about 30 minutes, we can do that via text, Facebook Messenger, a Zoom call, whichever really works for you. I don't really use the phone for talking, so I would really rather not do that, but whatever. And then if you order by Sunday, I'll also throw in my 5-day clean eating menu. Okay, so all of that is in a post here in the group. It's pinned to the top. You can check that out. There is a form that you would need to fill out so that I can get an invoice going for you. It's really it's an awesome deal, right? You get me, you get all of those things that I just listed for $40, which is nothing, right? And all that stuff is yours to keep forever. So, anyways, so that is the Meal Prep Kickstarter Kit, again, by Sunday, okay? I also wanted to do a quick shout out before we dive into Amanda, Casey, Lindsay, Joella, and Sarah, who all already filled out the form, who will be joining me in the April Badass Bootcamp. I can't wait to get started with you ladies. I will be sending those invoices out tonight, as soon as we get off this call, actually, and get you started and get your package on its way to you. So let's dive in to tonight's topic, which is tips and tricks and all of the fun things that I've learned along the way. So like I already said, right, I'm still learning. I still switch some things up. I don't know that you really ever know exactly what's going to happen because curveballs, right? It happens. The last several weeks we've had some curveballs where we've purchased meat, and then at the point where it was time to cook it, for dinner, it had already gone bad. So we couldn't have that thing, right? And so we had to sort of scramble or run to the store again or whatever it may be, right? So just, again, I've said this many times this week, be patient with yourselves, be forgiving. This is a learning process, okay? So as far as my tips for meal planning, the very first tip I have for today is before you sit down to create your plan, make sure you look at your calendar for the week ahead. okay? Depending on how big your family is, or whether you're just planning for yourself or you're planning for, your husband or your wife or your whole family or whatever it is, if your family is anything like mine, we have things almost every night, right? Harley has a dance, or she has t-ball or catechism, or Michael has a track meet or whatever, right? I'm gonna go have drinks with girlfriends or whatever it is. So we always have something happening. You want to make sure you know those things are happening before you sit down to plan a meal. You're not going to plan this big in-depth dinner, right, if your husband's not going to be home until 9 p.m. Like, why would you cook that amazing thing just for yourself and your little shit kids who aren't going to eat it, right? So plan ahead and make sure you write that in, right? Late meeting, or getting home early, or going to be home super duper late, or whatever it is. Plan that out. Look at your calendar first. I did not talk about ads yesterday because they didn't come until today. I was actually really bummed yesterday knowing that I was diving into my meal planning exactly how I do it. And I didn't talk about the ads yesterday because I didn't have any. We had already recycled last week's. I could have pulled them up online, but whatever. I don't actually do it that way. So for those of you who want to save money by meal planning and meal prepping, use your ads. Now, ours come in the mail apparently on Thursdays, right? I didn't really ever pay attention to when they came. I just knew that on Saturday and Sunday when I went to plan, they were already here. Use your ads. This is how we keep our grocery bill so low, okay? So when I sit down to plan, before we even do any sort of planning, I just take a marker or whatever, highlighter, pen, pencil. I wouldn't use pencil. Pencil's terrible on newspaper. Go through your local store ads. Now, we stick to about 2 to 3 stores. It used to just be 2. We went to Sprouts and we went to Lucky. I hate Safeway, despise it, would like to never ever step in that terrible frickin' store ever. And so we don't even look at the Safeway ad. Like, they could have everything for free and I wouldn't even know it because I never even look at the ad. We recently got a Smart and Final. And so we have been using their ads as well. Hey, April. So what we do, right? I sit down and I look, okay? So I'm going to use grapes as an example. They're an amazing example because I feel like if people just stopped buying grapes when they weren't on sale, people would be so much richer than they are right now, right? They would not be as broke because who doesn't love grapes? And they're so freaking expensive, like 98% of the year. So here's just a solid example, right? Grapes this week at Lucky. Now, if I just shopped at one store, I'd be like, well, $2 a pound. I mean, I guess my kid will only eat grapes. It's the only fruit they'll eat, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you just took your ass to Smart and Final, you could get them for 77 cents. Do you see what I'm saying here and how that saves you so much money, right? So don't buy things. Now, granted, this says it's on sale, but that's why you look at multiple stores, because what's on sale at Lucky, right, could be half the price at a different store. And then you can buy all the damn grapes you want because 77 cents a pound is amazing, right? So this is how we use the ads. This is how we shop the sales. And I'm just gonna show you another example, right? Sprouts. If you don't have a Sprouts, you should start right in your city and ask for one because we love Sprouts, okay? So berries, 4 for $5. That's insane, right? I will be eating the shit out of some berries this week. Bell peppers are 98 cents each. That's a pretty decent price, right? Brussels sprouts are on sale, 98 cents a pound. Y'all know how I love me some Brussels sprouts. Romaine hearts are on sale, $1.98 each. Y'all also know that I hate salads, so I will not be buying any of that. Pass. Tomatoes are 98 cents a pound. Apples are 98 cents a pound. So when you're thinking about using these containers, right? I know each day, I put away that other stuff, that I'm gonna need, 5 veggies or whatever. Well, you bet your ass I'm gonna fill this up with veggies that are on sale. Brussels sprouts, bell peppers. That was just the first page. I don't even know what else is on sale, right? Why would I decide, well, I'm only gonna eat broccoli? Because that is the only vegetable that I like, right? So that's all I'm gonna buy. I'm just gonna eat broccoli all week. 1, that's boring. 2, your body needs a variety, right? And you need other nutrients from other fruits and vegetables, okay? So you can have a variety by shopping the sales, and you won't end up eating the same stuff every week because you're only buying the stuff that's on sale. That's how we keep our bill so low. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. If you guys could like respond, put a thumbs up, like, heart, something. Show me that there's life out there. I see there's 3 of you here. So hopefully that makes sense looking at the ads, right? Lucky, sometimes, it is not this week, I think it was last week, has 5 for $25. So they sell their meats, 5 packages of meat for $25, okay? So that's when we stock up on all of our meat, right? They have salmon, they have chicken, they have ground turkey, they have sausage sometimes, they have like pork chops and all sorts of different varieties of meat. 5 packages for $25. That is so good. And of course we buy the packages that are more than $5, right? So we're really getting our money's worth. But that is not what's currently happening at Lucky this week. Let's see, what else? They have ground beef at Smart and Final, right, for $3.99 each. That's a really solid price for ground beef. I don't really like ground beef anymore. I'm more of a ground turkey girl, but you know what? You do you. So anyways, use the ads. Look at the ads, right? But don't buy, like, I don't know. Let me just look here for a second. Like, don't buy Nature Valley granola bars. That's shit food. That's not a health food. Don't eat that. It's not a good snack. It's a shit ton of sugar and carbs and processed bullshit. You know how long those things last on the shelves? Forever. You know why? Because it's chemicals in oat shape, right? Stop it with that. Look at the ads for fresh fruits, vegetables, produce, bulk items, those sorts of things. Stay away from all those other aisles. Don't even go down them, okay? So that's tip number 2 as far as planning. Now, here's a really big question that I always get. How do I know how much to buy, right? Okay, grapes are on sale. Cool. But how many bags of grapes do I need to buy? It's just simple math, okay? And it's really just like a sort of a guesstimate, right? Because you're not going to eat the stem and all of those things, right? And there's like air that takes up space in containers and all of these things, right? But if you just think simple math, okay? Purple container is a fruit, okay? This is a cup. If I need 7 cups for the week, right? I'm going to have grapes once a day for 7 days, okay? I need 7 cups. Odd numbers are hard to function with. So I go with 8 cups just to be safe, right? Just to make it simple. I need 8 cups, okay? How many ounces is in a cup? Anybody? Ounces in a cup. 1 cup is 8 ounces, okay? 16 ounces is a pound, okay? You still with me here? So 2 cups makes 1 pound, okay? 2 cups makes 1 pound, right? So if I need 8 of these throughout the week, right, I need 4 pounds of grapes. Guys, they have measurements and scales at the grocery store for a reason, right? So that's how many grapes you buy so that you can fill up your containers. And you know, right? Super simple. Same thing goes for potatoes. Right, your protein. This is 3/4 of a cup, so that is 6 ounces, right? So you know when you're buying your meat, well, if I need 6 ounces at dinner and Michael needs 6 ounces at dinner, then we need this much of sausage or whatever it is, right? Super simple math, okay? You'll get the hang of it, right? If you need to take these to the grocery store, I've had clients that have taken these, right? And they're like, I need a cup of strawberries, right? I need 3 cups of strawberries. They literally hold it up to the container of the strawberries and they're like, it doesn't seem like 1's gonna be enough. I better get 2, right? It's super simple. It's really not difficult. I have seen people at the grocery store who are not my clients with these containers looking to see, is that gonna be enough or is that not gonna be enough, right? Because sometimes math is hard and that's fine, okay? All right, that's all I wanna say about the meal plan. I want to move on to meal prep. Let me check questions before I move on. Let me see. Where are you guys? I thought I had pulled this up. I did. Let me refresh. If you guys have questions about the meal plan part, somebody's requesting to get in here. Let me approve them really fast so that they can be seeing this video. All right, where are we? I have a magnet on the fridge for that math. Perfect, so do I. I have like one that you can like spin and it's like half and then thirds and like, I don't know, all the confusingness. All right, okay, you guys know how many ounces in a cup. Good work. All right, so no other questions. I'm gonna keep going. So meal prepping. These are my favorite things, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys a few gadgets that I love, and I'm gonna share with you a few tips, okay? So if you guys are taking notes, get ready to write these things down, okay? Now, like I said, we prep on Sundays. I prep as soon as we get home from the grocery store. So I have in my life and in my mind, I have made a plan. I made a grocery list. We went to the store. We bought the things. Like, I know exactly what's going on up here because I literally just did it. But you may make your plan like on a Tuesday and not shop until Friday, and then you prep on Sunday and like all the things, right? But this is what I do, and this is what I should suggest. Go to the grocery store right before you're gonna prep, right? Your food is the freshest right then, in theory, right? Who knows how long it's been on the shelf. And you know what, on that note, I wanna say something. So many people are like, I like to make my food fresh, right? I don't like to make it ahead of time and then have it sit in the fridge because then it's going bad or it gets old or whatever. Where the F is your food sitting in your fridge waiting for you to make it that you think it's not getting old in your fridge? I just need you to think about that for a second, okay? Your food is still sitting in your fridge, unmade, getting old, waiting for you to make it fresh, okay? It's not fresher, right? It's just as old. You bought it on Sunday, whether you cook it on Sunday or you cook it on Friday, it's still Friday. It's still been in your fridge for 5 days, right? Period. So just wrap your head around that for a second, okay? So back to what I was saying. We make our plan, we make our list, we go to the grocery store, we get home. I put nothing away. As I pull the groceries out, right, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start here. I do these things. Once it's prepped, it gets put in the fridge. I don't get home, put everything away, and then go, okay, let's pull all the shit back out and start prepping. No, why are you wasting that time? Why are you doing that thing? No, absolutely not, right? It comes out the bags, out my reusable bags, use your reusable bags, and onto the counter so that I can chop it up and do all the things. Don't put it away. Leave it in the bags, okay? So that's a huge time saver right there. Next part, have your plan there, right? So you know what you're prepping. Now, some of you are probably gonna start small, and I highly recommend that, right? Like week 1, when we get into the April Badass boot camp, like I just want you to prep your snacks. If you've never prepped anything before, on like the Sunday going in, I just want you to prep your snacks. Like measure out some carrots, cut a few cucumbers, right? Pull some grapes off the vine. Like let's set up some snacks so that you can easily grab them. And then maybe week number 2, we'll dive into like breakfast and snacks or snacks and lunch, right? But we're not gonna go like, I'm gonna prep everything I'm ever gonna eat ever in week 1. Like no, that's too much. It's overwhelming. You're gonna suck at it. You're gonna hate it. It's gonna take forever and you're gonna quit. And that is not the goal, right? So, for those of you who have maybe been prepping for a little bit or whatever, make sure you have your plan with you, okay? When you start to prep, figure out what's gonna take the longest. Start that first, right? So it can be cooking or baking or in the Instant Pot, which I'll talk about here in a minute, or whatever it is while you're doing something else, right? Don't start chopping carrots and you have nothing else happening, right? You have chicken that has to bake for 40 minutes or whatever it is. I don't bake chicken, so I have no idea how long it takes. But you have like something that needs to cook, right? Potatoes you want to throw in the oven or whatever. and you haven't started those, and you're just over here like chopping cucumbers. Like, why? You're wasting time, right? You don't need to chop cucumbers and then bake chicken for 40 minutes. Put your chicken in, let it be bacon while you're chopping something else, right? And then you'll have that done when your chicken comes out, okay? So think smart. Work smarter, not harder is one of my favorite sayings, okay? So make sure you have everything written down and you know, like, this needs to bake, so clearly I'm gonna put this in first. Or this needs to be on the pan and I can be randomly stirring these things while I'm doing this other thing. So the second I get home, I put my boiled eggs in the Instant Pot. If you do not have an Instant Pot, I highly recommend them. We have really only used the Instant Pot, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 times for like actual food, because right after we got it, I got it for Christmas, we started 80-Day Obsession, and we've been on like a weird random food plan where like we don't get more than like 1 container at dinner time, 1 container of each, whatever. And so like, it just doesn't make sense for us to make this big concoction-y thing when it doesn't work for our meal plan. But I have been using the crap out of it for my boiled eggs. And I have been eating 2 eggs a day for 7 days. And so that's 14 eggs for me, for those of you that struggle in the math department. Michael has a few boiled eggs because religion and Lent and all of those things. So like, I'm making a shit ton of boiled eggs at one time, and it takes like 7 minutes, 10 minutes total. And they're done, right? So I start there because they're just sitting there in the pot and I can be doing other things, right? The next thing I do is soak my berries. So for those of you that follow me on social media, you know that I soak my blueberries and my strawberries and any sort of berry really in 2 parts water, 1 part vinegar. It takes all of the like blech off of them, pesticides, all of that shit. Like, how many times have you gone to the store and bought beautiful looking raspberries on Sunday, and by the time you go to eat them on Tuesday, they're molded and disgusting? Yeah, that doesn't happen when you soak them in this 2 parts water, 1 part vinegar. Rinse them off. They don't taste like vinegar at all. You can do that with other fruits and vegetables. I haven't found that it was necessary, but I certainly do it with my berries, and I do it with my grapes. So do that, right? So it can be soaking. It's just sitting there while I'm doing something else. Okay, so think about what order you should be doing things in. Okay, kitchen gadgets. I'm ready to share. Okay, so Instant Pot, crock pot, right? We have like 17 crock pots, I swear to you. 3. We have 3 of them, and one of them has like 3 different chunks, and they're tiny. Anyways, crock pot. My favorite chopping gadget. Are you guys ready for this? Again, those of you that already follow me on social media, this will not be a surprise to you, but you need to get, I don't even think this company exists anymore. My mom gave this to me when I was like, I don't know, 18, and I've had it forever. So this is the Vidalia Chop Wizard, okay? You need one of these. It opens like this. It has a blade. It comes with 2 different sizes. This is the bigger size, and then there's also a teeny size. This pops out. Hang on. It's stuck. Okay. So that all your veggies go in there. There's actually measurements on the side there. I hardly ever use that, right? But you can like cut up all your veggies and then you just bam, 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 slam them in there, chop them up. You're not like this all day long. No, right? Same size, everything's ready to go. You chop it up, scoop it into your container, call it a day, right? So this is absolutely one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. You need a kitchen gadget that's gonna save you time. Get one of these for chopping. Next, did I not bring any other gadgets? That's really all the gadgets that I wanted to talk about. That thing, Instant Pot. I have a salad spinner that I really love to use when I'm making salads that I hate. That's really all the gadgety things that we use. So let's talk about containers, like that I store my food in, right? Everybody, I think, thinks that if you're like one of these meal prep crazy people, that you have to have those cool, like black, sectioned out meal prep containers with the plastic lid, and like that's what makes you a meal prep ninja. Bullshit. Those things are expensive. They're cheap. No, stop it with that. Here's what we use, right? We're super fancy. This is Rubbermaid. Okay, this is what we put our food in. We have 2 different kinds. We bought these on Amazon for like, I don't know, $6. We have the kind that have the entire thing open, and then we have this one that has the 2 different slots. I don't love this one. I love this one, right? So totally up to you how you want to do it. If you're somebody who doesn't like your food to touch, right? Maybe you do want the little separated areas. I don't know, but if it's like something you need to heat, it's all going into the same microwave. So like, I don't know why you can't just toss it all in here. That's what I do. But totally up to you, right? These are not fancy. I didn't have to go buy some weird brand Rubbermaid, right? Get you some Ziploc or whatever. It's fine. Make sure it's microwavable, dishwasher safe, so that you can just go about your business. We have probably, I want to say like 8 or 9 of each of these. But we both prep and plan. So, you know, you do you. We also, this is my favorite. Well, let me not talk about this one. These ones came with our, oh, that's what I wanted to grab was my lunchbox. These ones came with our lunch boxes, which I call my lunch luggage. As many of you have seen, it's huge. It's like not much bigger than that giant ass bag behind me, right? Because I take so much food to work because I eat a lot of food. So these came with our Fitmark lunch boxes. They just pop on, super solid seal there. They're microwavable, they're dishwasher safe, they're just one little container, they're all the same size, right? This holds just as much food as that other one, even though it's a different shape. So, you know, whatever you want to store your food in, you do you. I think a lot of people who meal prep, especially snacks, use a lot of Ziploc bags. And I want to be like a huge, like, my mind is drawing a blank, like pusher for like not using Ziploc bags. So I just recently purchased these. They're called, I don't really know how to say it, Russby, Russbe. There it is, right? They're plastic, or whatever. I don't know if they're plastic. That some people are disposable, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyways, they're like BPA, all the things free. I don't remember. But they are pretty good size, right? They spread out. I've been using them for my sunflower seeds, but the package comes with 2 of these and then also 2 sandwich bag sized ones that are pretty good size, and they also, you know, expand. Instead of using like 1 million plastic bags, I forget what the like statistics are on that, but so many of those end up on our landfills, and like it's just not worth it for you to just throw some carrots in a plastic bag, right? There's so many other containers that you can use that are just as convenient as a plastic bag, but they don't end up in the landfills, right? So these are reusable, they're dishwasher safe, all of the things. So I'm really loving these. They seal beautifully. I've been using them now for 2 weeks and no problems at all. I just rinse them out at the end of the night, set them out to dry. Like I just pop them open, they dry, and then I can use it again the next week. My favorite storage containers, y'all. You can do everything with a mason jar. You can drink wine out of it. You can drink champagne out of it. You can drink whiskey out of it. Solid for a beer. Perfect place to put your strawberries and your grapes. You can put candles in it. Crafts. Plants. They're amazing. I love mason jars. So here's what I really, really, really love about mason jars. And this is also a time-saving tip. This regular size mason jar holds 2 cups. What do we know is a cup? Our container, right? So instead of having to measure 2 of these full of grapes, I just put those bitches in here. I don't even need to use the container, right? But I know that when I fill this up to the very tippy top and put my lid on, it's 2 purple containers of grapes or strawberries or whatever the hell it is that I'm putting in here. These are also really good to make like mason jar salads. I've done some posts about those over on Living in the Dream, where you can stack your veggies and your meat and your cheese and all those things in the correct order so that things don't get soggy and gross. Michael puts pasta salad in these pretty much every week that he eats pasta salad. So mason jars are just a really good way to store those fruits and veggies after you've prepped them on the weekend so that they stay fresh. That's what mason jars are for, right? They're for preserving food, for preserves. So they, even though you're not doing like the whole canning thing and like putting it in boiling water and all of that shit, like putting that lid on there and sealing it keeps it so much fresher in the mason jars than it would in a regular plastic container or like a Ziploc baggie or whatever. So I use mason jars to store almost every vegetable or fruit that I prep. Okay, so I love mason jars. You can get them at Target, you can get them at Osh or any hardware store. You could probably just get them on like Craigslist because people went crazy when mason jars got super popular on Pinterest. So yeah, mason jars, that's the way to go. This one, this tall one, holds 3 cups. Again, odd numbers are weird, so I don't really love this for measuring things, but I will use it if I have to. This one's my go-to for like, oh, I'm gonna put all my fruits in there, right? I'll make these and then I'll take this one to work, and maybe I have 1 cup of strawberries on Monday, so I'll eat half of it. There are measurements on the mason jars, and I'll just leave it at work, and then I eat the other half the next day, and I'm good to go, right? So I'm not necessarily having to cart things back and forth. Is that the only gadgets and measurement things that I brought in here? I think so. Okay, let me look at my notes real fast. If you guys are having questions, please make sure you drop them in the comments. Kitchen gadgets, write down what can cook. Enlist help, you guys. So here's the thing. If you're prepping for you and your husband or you and your wife, let me just give you some like empowering, motivational, swift kick in the ass. If you are prepping food for another human who's going to consume that food, that human needs to get their ass either at the grocery store or in that kitchen with you. You are not anybody's maid or servant or anybody else. If they are going to consume that food, they need to be in there and either using a container and filling it up or whatever it is, right? You do not have to do this alone. If you are only prepping for yourself, it will cut your time in half. So think about that, right? And then maybe you do have to do it by yourself. And that's fine. It's not like it can't be done. But it's so much more enjoyable together. Backstory. Michael used to never help me with prep. And he didn't want to eat any of my food. So that was fine. I was just prepping for me. And then like probably a year and a half ago, he was like, okay, I'll just eat what you're eating for lunch. So just double it. I was fine with that. He wasn't being picky about it. I was really just having to double whatever it was that I was making. So it wasn't like, oh, I don't want what you're having, but I want you to make me this. Nah, bro, not happening. So I was just having to double my recipe. Not a problem. Happy to do that. I want him to be healthy, all of the things. In the last however many weeks 80-day obsession has been happening, he has been prepping all of his own food because he's on a different meal plan than I am. He gets to eat different foods. We literally cannot eat the same foods for lunches and snacks and all of those things. So he's been in there prepping the same time I have. Now we have a teeny tiny kitchen. It is like a well-orchestrated dance between he and I, prepping in there. We just let the children entertain themselves, go play with your iPad, listen to music, dance, throw things at each other, cry, scream, don't even care, we're prepping right now, right? And he's been doing all his prep and I've been doing all my prep, and both of us agreed, like the second week we were doing it, was like, this is fun. Being in here together. This is quality time, right? Yes, we're doing something not super enjoyable. It's not like we're both like, yay, meal prep day, I love it. No, but we know it needs to be done. We know it saves us time throughout the week, and it's time that we're spending together. We're talking about work, and we're talking about other things, and family, and all of the things, because we're just in the kitchen and like chopping shit and doing stuff, right? So it's quality time. Enlist help. You know who else is a really good helper? Your children. My kids love to fill these containers. A lot of people who own these containers have lost them due to the fact that their children have stolen them because they're cute and adorable and colored and they're super fun. Your kids will enjoy filling these up. They want to help. My kids, every time I'm in the kitchen, they're like, I want to help you cook. And I'm like, go away, no, right? But they like to do this. Like, have them fill up, chop up all those cucumbers and have them fill up this container and pour it in a baggie, and then you can go close it. You don't have to do everything. Let your type A personality like pull it back a little bit. Let the children help. I know I have a type A personality. I would much rather do everything myself. I totally get it, right? But enlist help. Let them help you. Okay, here's a container tip for those of you who are planning on using the containers, or those of you that already have them. When you're measuring, right? So fruits and vegetables, I measure before I cook them. I don't typically cook my fruits, but I do cook my vegetables. Measure them before. I'm going to use spinach as an example, right? You can fill this bad boy with spinach and then cook it down, and you're going to have less than this much spinach when you're done, right? Spinach is weird that way. But I measure all of my vegetables before I cook them. So I chop, 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 chop. I need 7 green containers of broccoli. I'm gonna measure those, plop them in my pan, cook them, measure them out, call it a day, right? Rice, oatmeal, pasta, those sorts of things, I measure after it's cooked, right? Because those things expand. It's a little bit of a fine art how to figure out how many of these containers you need because of the expansion, and I will share that in the April Badass Bootcamp, okay? Let's see. I feel like that's it, you guys. Oh, I also measure my proteins after it's been cooked. Don't measure raw meat in your containers. Gross. Raw meat is disgusting. Storage doesn't have to be fancy. Mason jars. Oh, so this is one final tip that I have on my list here, and then I'll answer any questions you guys have, but I don't see a lot rolling up, so that's good. Hopefully that means I'm explaining things. I don't know. If you want your prep to go faster, plan raw, okay? And what I mean by that is the less you have to cook, the less time it's going to take you to prep. If all you have to do is slice or peel or chop and then measure and put away, it will take less time than if you have to slice, measure, chop, cook, reportion, put away, right? So for example, it took me, like I said earlier in the week, less than an hour to prep my meals this week. The only thing that I had to cook was my boiled eggs, again, while I was doing a million other things. So this week, 2 boiled eggs and a cup of strawberries. That's my breakfast, or my first meal of the day. My second meal of the day is cottage cheese, tomatoes, and tortillas. I know, super random, but it's been delicious. Whatever, don't judge me. Next meal of the day, spinach, blueberry, feta, salad with dressing, right? None of those things are cooked. So it took me no time at all to prep that this week. Then my pre-workout meal is my shake, which again, I make in the morning, every morning. It gets one of these. It gets milk, which counts as one of these. Shakeology, cinnamon, PB2, blend, call it a day, put it in my shaker cup, off I go. We make dinner fresh every night, and my dinners are one of these, one of these, one of these, and a teaspoon. So Michael had to cook a lot of things, right? He roasted veggies this week. He had turkey bacon with something this week. I think he put it in his pasta salad. He made pasta, you know, all sorts of things. So it took him longer to prep than it took me to prep because I went raw. So if you want to save time, go raw. Yeah. Do you guys have questions? I feel like I sort of pushed through that, but this has been a longer video because I knew I was going to have a lot of things to say about that. It does. There's still a commercial for them. Oh, the Vidalia chop exists, I think, is what Nancy's saying. Yay. I mean, I don't know about the brand, Vidalia, whatever. Just get something that helps you chop. Are there any questions? If there are, those of you that are live, definitely ask them. I will stay on here for just a second and see if you guys have anything that I can help with. Tomorrow is going to be just a Q&A. You know, I don't necessarily have anything planned that I wanted to talk about. I feel like I've really provided you guys with everything that I do each week to plan and to prep. So I don't know, maybe just think about any questions that you guys have. If you don't have any questions, you know, I'll just hop on and wait for you guys. And if you guys don't have anything, then, you know, we can call tomorrow short. I mean, maybe nobody will even hop on because it's Friday at 7. Maybe you guys have a life. I don't. I'll be here. but I'm totally open to answering any questions you guys have. Like I said, these videos will not stay up in this group forever. I will take them down eventually. So if you're behind, if you missed the first couple of days, definitely go back and check those out. I hope you guys are excited about the April Badass Bootcamp and really jumping on this $39.90 amazing deal. I'm getting the group ready to open up, because I will open it up, what's my calendar say, March 29th. Like I said, April 1st is Easter. So what's really cool about the April Badass Bootcamp is this. Our first week, we're not really gonna do like a prep day. We don't have time, right? So I'm gonna be talking about how you prep, how you set yourself up for the week when you don't have a full day of prep, how to do it during the week, which is going to be really fun and really cool. So, and you know, you don't want to just like, oh, I can't eat healthy for the entire week because it was Easter on Sunday. What? You're not going to eat well and stick to your goals and your plan for 7 fucking days because the Easter bunny came on Sunday? Get out of here. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. All right, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you all soon.